Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan. Steve Malicious here with the Blu G91. Now, years ago, I didn't have the best luck with Blu devices, but I decided to give them another chance, and I'm glad I did. Because while the price of these Blu devices has remained the same, the quality, along with the rest of the industry in this price range, has improved dramatically. The Blu G91, today on this edition of Steve Malicious Tech. And we're back as always. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers, up over 3,200. If you're loving all the tech, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. What a wild box right off the top. I feel like this should be delivered to me by Don Johnson in a white Testarossa. You whippersnapper, you're too young for that. You don't remember that show. You don't remember that show. I got a comment not that long ago saying when they saw me, they thought they were going to get a cringy boomer in the video. I really hope that's not the vibe that we're giving off here. We give off cringy boomer? Actually, probably we do. But all right, let's take a look at the specs. 6.5 HD plus. It's 720p, so I don't know what they're talking about with the HD plus, but it is 720p. We'll go over that a little bit later. But the thing you're going to notice right out of the box is the texture on the back. Now, I really like that they did this. I wish more budget makers would. Instead of giving us that ridiculously glossy, greasy, fingerprint magnet back material, go ahead and try something different. It's not a rubberized texture that you'd get on a BlackBerry, but it is it's almost like a velvet. It feels like a fabric, which is nice. And I can tell you after 10 days of use, it gets some smudges on it, but you don't notice it. Between the texture and the gradient, you really don't notice it. And I really wish more budget makers, or even just people and designers in general, would go for a textured back, either that or kind of like a sandstone. So you get the charger, you get that nice silver wire, you get the headphones, you got your Blu stickers, and you're going to watch. You get you get a case, which is great, because don't forget, case is another 10, 20 bucks if you can even find one for the phone. You get a screen protector. This is great. Do you got we all have that special spaz in our life. So they're set to go. It's okay. We love them just the same. I happen to be married to one. It's fine. You go ahead, you give them this, you give them the box, and they could go about their business. No problem whatsoever. Overall, good feel to the design. Solid. Got a good weight to it. You don't even notice that the frame is plastic. I really, really like what they did with the design quality and the build quality of the G91. Okay, so that's the unboxing and the build quality. Let's talk about the performance and some of the things you'd want to know spec-wise. First off, 150 bucks. Okay, new on Amazon. Link will be in the description, so you know what bracket that puts this in. Processor, nothing to write home about. It's a budget processor, but that's going to be just fine for what you want to use this device for. Web browsing, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all run well on the G91. Don't get this confused with the G90 Pro, though. Don't think you're going to be doing a lot of gaming on this. This is more related to the G90 from earlier last year. Now, there may very well be a Pro version of this. We'll have it on the channel later in the year if they come out with it. That's more geared towards getting decent frames, being able to play a few games, but this is more the budget entry, but it does really well at that. And let's talk about 3 specs that I think you're going to want to know about for this one. The first being 128 gigs of storage with expandable memory. So when you start getting into the 100, 150 price range, expandable memory is a big deal. That much storage base is a pretty big deal as well. You're not going to have to worry about running out of anything, putting apps, pictures, video, whatever you want to do on here. You're not going to have any issue. The second one, and I think this is the biggest one of the entire device, 4 gigs of RAM. That's another one. Usually when you're down here in this kind of budget area, you're looking at 2, most likely 3 these days, but that 1 gig of difference is huge. And I love the fact that when you actually pull up on the UI and you're going through this, you're looking through the multitasking, it shows you how much RAM you're using. And the base system, Android 10, by the way, so you get all your gesture navigations and all the rest of it. It did have a security patch as of March, so that's good, nice and up to date. you're going to be able to see the RAM usage. So like I said, the system, about 2+ gigs of RAM. Once you add Instagram and Facebook, you're already getting up there, and you could notice a bit of a slowdown. So manage your RAM. They make it easy. If you do that, you're going to have a very smooth experience on the G91. The last one that I think you're going to want to know about, 5,000 milliamp hours on the battery. And when you pair that with a 720p LCD, you get phenomenal battery life. You're not going to be able to kill this, whether it's on standby, whether you're using it a ton, you're not going to be able to kill this battery. You're going to be ending days with 65+% on battery. I had no issue with it ever at all. It's a phenomenal battery performer. Now, 10-watt fast charge, so not the fastest in the world, but then again, you're going to be charging this once every 1 or 2 days, so you're not going to have to worry about it being the fastest charging in the world, but it does have a cool charging animation just the same. So, let's talk about the camera. Decent. You're going to get representative photos. You're not going to have a problem with that. You have good light, you're going to get good photo. It's 16 megapixels. Bad light or lower light, it's still going to be decent. I mean, you don't want to be zooming in, but for what you get at $150, it's not a bad camera. All you can ask for is nice, decent performance in good light. And that's exactly what you're going to be getting on this. Gaming-wise, it's not impossible. Pokemon Go, I was able to do it. It was a bit laggy. You'd notice some stutters. You're still able to catch stuff. You're still able to throw Pokeballs and all the rest of it. I wouldn't do it for anything above Pokemon Go. So if you have those strategy games, card games, Hearthstone, something like that, you're probably going to get away with it. But anything more than that you're going to be worried about FPS or something like that, you're not going to want to be using this particular device. Let's talk about the display. For a 720 LCD, this is one of the better ones. It is absolutely one of the better ones. And to compare it, the Nokia 5.3 that had a 720, I believe around the 6.5 inch range LCD, this beats the pants off it. Much, much more vibrant. And I'm going to give you a tip. Out of the box, in the default color mode, it's going to look a little dull. So I want you to go into settings, go into the screen color display, whatever it is. It's one of the settings under display, and it's going to say screen color mode. You go ahead, you change that to vivid, and you're going to have nice contrast, decent colors, decent brightness as well for the price range on a panel like this. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. It's not something you used to dull, used to dim displays, not the best on color you see in pixels, nothing. I really enjoyed this display, and I can tell you, I didn't even really notice that it was only 720p for the time I was using it. YouTube videos looked great on it, no issues. It is a single bottom firing speaker, but that's okay. You want to know why? Because you really got a problem with that? Headphone jack. Still surviving, the headphone jack. So you could go ahead, plug in your headphones, and get a much better sound experience. Fingerprint sensor was snappy. No issues with that. Worked every time once it was set up. Overall, the build quality held up well. We talked about the texture at the beginning of the video. After a week, no problems. Looks great. 10 days with it, no complaints whatsoever. Still as snappy as it was out of the box. A little bit of bloatware, nothing crazy. Couple of blue apps on there that you can easily remove. It's not like you just have to disable them and you can't remove them. You could easily just uninstall them and it works fine. The rest of it is pretty much stock Android. But for $150, I'm loving where this range is going. I'm loving where the price points are just getting lower and lower and lower, and the quality is just getting better and better and better. And this is certainly an example of this. Nice, solid construction, good weight, and decent performance at $150. It'll certainly get the job done. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day.